Hi, this is Kate from Izzalicious Designs. Today we're going to make one of the first little characters that I made, which is a little Ghostbuster. So we're going to attempt him today and do a little bit of an updated version on him. We're going to start with our loom in the offset configuration, which means columns 1 and 3 are going to be lower than column 2. The open part of the peg is facing towards you, or the arrow is facing towards you. You're going to be double banding, which means you take 2 bands and you place them together like this on the pegs as if they were one. Alright, so we're going to start by doing his body first, and we're using our dark brown for his hair, and we're going to do the crafty ladybug technique where we do the hair at the back of the head as well. So we're placing dark brown bands. Actually, I'll do one more down here. And pair like that. Now, take a single brown band and you're going to place it over these 3 pegs as a crossover, and the same here. Then I'm going to take a single skin tone band, place my hook through it and wrap once and twice, and that is going to pop here on the end of his neck bands. Alright, we're going to use that. We're going to dig down, grab those 2 brown bands and loop up. And now we're going to loop up part of his hair, so the 2 top brown bands, and again the 2 top brown bands, and up to the middle. You're doing 2 up the middle here like that, and then just 1 either side of the head. Make sure you push the crossover bands out the way. So that's all we're doing for the back of his hair. Okay, the reason we don't go up this far is because we're attaching his head to that. Okay, so now skin tone bands for his face. Again, we're double banding, so you take 2 and you place the bands on top of these brown bands for his face. Push everything down because it's a bit crowded there. I'm only going to use 2 bands for the neck. Usually I used to use 3, but because we already have this there, that gives it a bit of stability. So take a single band and you're going to stretch it over those 3 pegs as our crossover, and then for his eyes I'm taking a single band and I'm twisting it once, twice and 3 times and placing them on the peg here. Now for his eyes I'm going to be using the 7mm by 4mm mini pony beads. If you're going to be using bands instead, all you need to do, 1 band equals 1 eye. So take a single band and you wrap it once, twice, 3 times and 4 times, and you do that twice, as I said, once, twice, 3 times and 4 times. 1 band equals 1 bead, and you would slide these on to the single skin tone band like this, just as I am going to do with the beads. Okay, so these are the eyes. You just treat them as if they were beads like that, and what I'm going to do is slide my beads on just the same. Now once you have them on your band, and you can use a metal threader to do that, you can use floss, doesn't matter. Place one side here, spread the eyes out. So if you're using bands, you spread them out so that they're either side of these middle bands here. You take the top part of the band and you're going to put that above this peg here so that it's going between 3 and is acting like a crossover band. Alright, now what we're going to do is just take this. If you have a look down here, you can see you've got the 2 bands for the neck here, but you've also got the 2 flesh tone bands down here which were the end cap. We're going to take the bands that were the end cap up and over and place them on the neck band, and that is going to help us lock in the neck to the back of the hair. Okay, so that's what we're doing there. Now I'm using the Loom Bands light coffee colour for his suit, so I'm going to be placing 2 bands here for his shoulder, and we're going to work down for his little suit. I'm going to do his backpack separately. We're going to stop 1 pair above where the loom finishes, and the reason we're doing that is he wears black boots, so we're going to put a black pair of bands there. Pair of black there, pair of black there. We're going to take 2 of the light coffee colour, place them from the groin to there, groin to the right, and from the groin to the left. Oops. And then we're going to place a crossover, an end cap right here. Sorry, not crossover band. Single band, wrap once and twice, whoops, and place that here. We are going to place crossover bands, so take a single and stretch it across these 3 pegs like that. 1 more. Now for his shoes, take a pair of black bands, place them on your hook, wrap once and twice, take another pair, slide these all on, straighten them out a bit, reclaim the end of your bands. You're going to take another pair, wrap once and twice, and move these 2 loops over so that they're sitting either side of the wrapped bands that you just did. Okay, like that. Then we're going to take another pair and slide this all on like that. Reclaim the end of your bands and angle the foot. Now if you're having problems with the foot, if you look under my playlists on my channel, my YouTube channel, there is a tips and tricks playlist, and I go through how to do a foot close up and very slowly and step by step, so that if you are having a problem, then that's the place to look. Wrap once and twice, move these 2 loops over like that, and then let's, oh, I do have 2 here, slide onto a pair. I usually like to slide the first 2 bands on, the first 2 loops, then the one that I wrapped, and then the last 2, so I don't get everything tangled. Angle and place on the end of the leg like so. Okay, I'm going to put these back. Let's do his hands. We're going to use skin tone to start with, so take a single skin tone, wrap it once and twice, and slide onto a pair of skin tone, and then you're using your light coffee and you're needing 4 pair. So here's our first pair, second, third and fourth, and that will sit here on his shoulder. We'll do the same for the other side. Single, wrap once and twice, slide onto a pair of skin tone, and then 4 pair of the tan or the light coffee. 1, 2, 3 and 4. And that will go on his other shoulder. Now he does have a belt, a utility belt. We're going to make that out of black. So we're going to take a single band. Now we're going to put it here, alright? We're going to actually do it here because it will slide down. So I'm going to take this middle one off. I'm going to take one band and do a figure 8 on my loop, on my hook with it. And the reason I do it like that is so I don't stretch it. If I was to do it with my fingers to stretch it into a figure 8, you sort of stretch the band a bit and it doesn't go back into shape. And I want this to be tight, as tight as it can be without, you know, being too tight. So I'm just doing it on the hook so that I don't over stretch it. Now that tan band that I took off is going to be our crossover band, but I'm taking it off for the minute until we get to that part, so don't let me forget to put it back on, okay? It's your job to remind me. There we go, put those 3 on. This is going to be his little belt that goes around. He also does have a red and white badge on his chest. Now I thought of different ways to do that. As you can see with this one, I've sort of done a knot and done it like that. So what I think I'm going to do for this particular one is just sort of make a little, well, I'll tie it in somehow. Not quite sure how at this stage, but we'll get to that. We're going to do that after the fact. Alright, I'm ready, I believe, to loop up. So we'll loop up his legs. Now, because we're doing trousers, I want these middle ones to go first. So take the 2 top and loop them to their corresponding side, and then the next 2 top, and they go to their corresponding side, and obviously the middle goes up. We're going to stop before we get to where we want to do our belt. Push things down if things are looking a bit tight and squeezy. There's one band, let's find the other one, there it is. Here we go. So we're at the belt, we're going to loop this up, okay, and then we're going to turn our loom to the side, and we have this pair and this pair. They're the loops for the same pair of bands. Grab the black bands, so you're going under and coming through the center. Grab the black bands on your hook, and you're going to drag your hook to the back of the peg and pull forward like that. Okay, and you can just twiddle those around so that they're sitting nicely. You can do that after the fact as well. Let's do the other side. Going up the center, grabbing all of those black bands, and pull your hook round to the front of the peg and pull forward. Now we can actually put our crossover band back now. You're going to have to lift the top 2 bands and place your crossover band like that. It can go over this one, that doesn't matter, it's not going to get in the way. And then you need to lift the top 2 bands here and replace those like that. Alright, let's loop up this center one. again, you're going to go under the bottom, grab the bands, pull your hook around, make sure that this crossover band gets out of your way, and pull forward. Okay, so this is going to be his belt. As I said, you can just twiddle these around and it'll sort itself out. Now, the reason I didn't put a red band here is it would take up the whole space, and I think that would look a bit silly. And if I put it here, like going from here to here, I think again it would go to one side or the other. It wouldn't sit nicely. The only way that we could quite possibly do it for it to look normal, and I will show you, I'm going to backtrack here a second, I'm just going to take those two loops off, is by sliding it onto the crossover band. So what we'll do it like an eye. Take a single band, a white one, wrap it once, twice and 3 times. Alright, and then we're going to take a red band and wrap it once and twice that side, once and twice that side, like that. Okay, lift your crossover band up, and similarly to how we do eyes, you want the 2 red to go first, then the white. So I'm using my fingernails to pull that over. If your fingers can do it, that's fine. And then the other 2 red. There you go. Now we want it so that it's so that the white are in the middle. There we go. Says me, getting it wrong. Alright, let's put our crossover band back like that. Now we will have to fiddle around with it. I think once we have it off the loom, we'll be able to dig our hook down here and even these up. There we go, that's kind of right, like that. Okay, now let's take those 2 bands that we had and place those back. And that's the only way that I can see that we can get it in the middle sort of that side of his chest without it looking, this I think is just too bulky. To his shoulders, to his neck, don't forget that, or his arms will fall off and you'll be mad at me. Alright, we're going to dig down here, grab those 2 skin tone bands and loop up. Now we're digging down here to find the 2 top skin tone, loop to the side, and the next 2 go to the side as well. Be careful with these. And now we have 2 bottom ones, and be careful again that you're not getting this end cap that we had. You want to make sure that you get those 2 at the top there. And I can see mine are a bit twisted. I don't want them twisted. I like it straight. 2 top skin tone bands, 2 top skin tone bands. You don't want the brown bands as well. You just want the skin tone. So push the brown bands down with the back of your hook. Alright, then we dig down here, find the 2 brown, 2 brown, the center brown, one side and the other side, and then let's take 2 brown bands to tie his hair off. You're going to go all the way past all those bands down the center here, put the 2 brown bands on, pull it back up through and tie off in a slip knot, and he's ready for us to take off the loom. Whoops, I'm throwing hooks everywhere. I use the back of a metal hook to help me take him off the loom. I hate broken bands. And I think this just releases some of the pressure of yanking him off the loom in one hit. Okay, so let's stretch him into shape. Pull his arms out and down. Now his belt, you're going to want to move that down his waist a bit. And let's see if we can pretty up his little emblem that we did here by pulling the red ones a little bit. There we go. So that's the little emblem on the front of his shirt. He's got his belt on, his boots. Let's tie his hair into the back here. If you go between the skin and the hair, there's sort of this little space there. You can push your hook through, grab those bands, and as you pull them back, you're going through into the back of that space. And you can sort of hide the end of the bands in there, says she. There we go. Pull those through. Or try to. Even out how these bands look. Just by stretching them, just to give them. He's got a loop on the top of his head. See if I can fix that. Maybe he just didn't brush his hair properly this morning. There we go. I'm just going to straighten that out. So there's the back of his head, there's the front of his head. So now all we need to do is make him his little ghost-busting backpack. Alright, so I'm going to put him to one side and I'm going to change the configuration of my loom. And I'm going to pop that middle column, out and turn my loom into a standard configuration. Alright, so it's just 3 little rows here. Columns, gosh, I'm looking at it and I know it's a column. The wrong words keep coming out of my mouth. We're double banding. The arrow is facing towards us. Double banding, you have 2 bands and you place them on the peg together as one. And we're going to do like this. Oops. Now for here, what I'm actually going to do is 2 red, okay, because again he has an emblem in the middle of his backpack. Actually, I'm going to make it a little bit longer. Let's do another 2 first and then put the red here. There we go. So we're coming down here, we've got the top 2, then we've got 1, 2, 3 and 4, and we've come in to tie it off here. So what I've done is I have another one here, and then I'm doing, oopsie, like that. Okay, we're going to put an end cap here, single band, wrap it once and twice and pop that on the end like so. We're going to put a crossover here, crossover here, crossover here, and across over here. We're also going to put a white band in the middle. I'm going to lift up that crossover. I'm going to take my white band, wrap it once and twice and 3 times. Actually, I'm going to go one more time. 3 times. I'm going to lift the red and I'm going to slide the white band onto the red, if I can. Okay, like so. And then I'm going to put the crossover band back. Dig down past the end cap. You're finding the top 2 bands, and in this case the top 2 are these ones here. So let's dig down past the end cap, find those 2 top bands and loop to one side and loop to the other side and loop up the middle like that. Now for his arm straps, I literally just attached bands and put them over. I didn't loop them in. I just used single bands and did it that way. Oops. Okay. Go up there. Now, this is going to be tricky because what I'm going to do, I want to put my hook down the center of these white bands, but I want to be above the crossover bands. Okay, so I'm going to put my hook inside the white bands there, and then I actually want to, and you could use a toothpick to do that bit, grab the red bands. Okay, I'm going to put them on the hook. Let's come off my peg a little bit, but that doesn't really matter. And then what I'm going to do is drag them through the inside of the white bands and replace on the hook peg like that. And the reason I've done that is so that I can wiggle this up so that I can have red either side of the white. And then I'm going to continue looping up. This one here. Now keep going all the way to here. I'm not really going to tie off at this point. What I'm going to do is make the tube that he sucks the ghosts up with. So what I'm going to do is take a single black band. I'm going to start down here. I'm going to twist it into a figure 8, loop it on itself and place on my peg. Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now if we count how many we actually have here, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Then I have 3 grey and then I finish off in black. So that's 6. We need to do another 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, so that's 12. Now we're going to get a couple of grey. We need 3 grey if you remember. I'm going to just go up here. 1, 2, 3, so then my 3 grey, and I have a black, and I'm supposed to finish off with another black, so I'm going to take the single black, wrap it around my hook, once, twice and 3 times. I'm going to place that on the end. I'm going to try and place that on the end here. Alright, I'm going to dig down and grab those two, well it's 2 loops of the same band, and I'm looping this up. When I get to here, I'm going to take this off my loom, but I'm going to place it on the end here, and then pull that out, grab the 2 loops, and we loop this one up. Now yes, you can do this on the hook, but I thought you might like to do it on the loom. Again, spread this out, place on the end here like the end cap, and we loop up. Take this off. So this is going to be the hose, okay, and we're going to place this on the end here as well. So now when we tie off, we're going to be tying off with this included. So push your hook all the way through, so you've got all of those bands on your hook. Place your 2 tie-off bands. I use 2 so that one is an insurance policy in case one breaks. On your hook, pull it back through the center and up to the back side of this peg. Now I'm going to poke my hose through that like that, so that I have access to that tie-off band, up, over and off, and pull tight, and I can take this off the loom, and this is going to be his little backpack. Okay, and I'm going to have it this way because I think it looks better than this way. So this will go on his back like this, and this hose comes through and will go through his hand like that. Now what we have to do is make the little straps. I have one this side, which is the tie-off band. What I'm going to do, let me get my loom out of the way, is take another 2. Hang on, put these 2 on my hook, so they're the tie-off bands. Take another 2, and we're going to do a slip knot like that. Okay, so this is going to be how we tie off, how we have him have his little backpack. So these are the straps, is what I'm trying to say. Go through where we were on the other side, take 2, and we're going to do a slip knot so that it's the same as the other side. Put the 2 from the backpack on, over, make another slip knot. So these are our 2 straps, as you can see, that are going to go over like this. Now they have to attach at the back. I think it would be a very nice idea to have them go through his belt. So I'm going to take the 2 straps here and have them go through his belt, because that will keep it attached to the front of his body. If I can do it without, there we go, I'm going to pull it past that knot, so the knot is going to be at the belt level. Let's do the same on the other side. Poke my hook through, grab the 2 loops, pull through till I get to the knot. Now you can hide the knot under the belt if you want, or you can go just slightly past the belt, which is what I've done on the other side. Take them behind. You want to go through. You see here you've got these 2 sides. So what we're going to do, go from the inside to the outside, drag them through like that. The reason we go through the inside to the outside is so that we can hide our clip at the back of his backpack. Okay, Again, go the other side here, grab the two, pull them through like that. There's the two ends that we have here. Now, if you don't want to use a clip, I have a clip here, use a band, and you're just going to slide through and do a slip knot and tie them off like that. What you then want to do to hide that so that it's not so obvious is go through the back of the backpack and slide that up his backpack so it's hidden, okay, because that would be your tie-off band, but then at least you don't have to use a clip. Make sure that his straps are sitting nicely on his suit, and all you need to do, there's the hose, you can have it coming this side out of his hand or this side. If you're coming this side, what I would suggest you do, push your hook through the end cap of his hand and poke the hose through like so. And there we have our little Ghostbuster. I hope you enjoy making him. Take care.